everybody, so I thought I'd do a video all about Nelly's birth and how this little munchkin came into the world, and just a little update. Now she's nearly 7 months old. It's just flying by. It's going super quick. So I went in on Bo's birthday, which is the 13th of October, to be induced. I was due to go in the next day on the 14th, but they called in the morning and said they're so super busy, is there a chance we can come in a day earlier? I explained the situation. They agreed I could come in the evening just to kind of get started. So we did, and we went in, and they start with a 24-hour pessary, and then they do 8-hour ones after that until you go into labour and then subsequently give birth. So they did the first pessary, 24-hour one, and after they put it in, they said, oh, try and stay active as possible and get lots of walking and some steps in to try and get things moving along naturally. It's the best way to kind of do it. So they put it in, and then about half an hour later, after a quick monitoring, they couldn't understand why I just couldn't walk. It was so strange. My legs just seized up, and I thought, oh, I felt a contraction, but I thought it can't happen that quick. It'd only been about half an hour, and my legs just would not move. It was like intense cramp, like I'd run a marathon, which I've never done and will never do. But that kind of feeling where you've just like pulled a muscle or strained it or something, and my legs started shaking uncontrollably. So I got back into bed because it was quite late, and I thought, oh, see whether I can sleep it off. Didn't know what was causing it. Woke up next day, it was exactly the same thing, and we were due to meet our friends who were going to have their baby a couple of weeks later for lunch at the hospital canteen because they were coming in for a checkup, and they couldn't believe when they saw me. They were like, what's wrong? I was like, I can't walk. I can't walk wheeling down in a wheelchair. There was just nothing. I just could not put my finger on why it was doing it. I thought maybe I'd had like a panic attack and my legs had seized up where I'd been so stressed and so tight, but just nothing seemed to make sense. It was really funny, seeing me kind of, trying to walk and hobble along and things, but I truly couldn't. So I got back into bed for most of the rest of the day. My midwife kept saying, you need to stay active, you need to be up and about. I said, I can't walk, I just can't do it. So I got into bed for most of the day, and then by the time the evening came and they come to take out the pessary to put the next one in, she said, oh, there's a bit of a problem. I said, what? And she said, well, it's got stuck. I was like, well, stuck where? And she said, it's behind your cervix. It's actually touching your baby's head. And I was like, right. So I don't know if it was some kind of chemical reaction or something, but where the pessary had got stuck, that was what was causing me the pain. But it'd been in for 24 hours and never put the two and two together. So she called in a midwife and she said, oh, can you come and get it out? And because I'm struggling to be able to reach it. And the midwife said, oh, I'm not going to be able to do it. Look at the size of my fingers. They're too small and they're too short and they're too fat. She said, it'll never reach. I was like, oh, for God's sake. Okay. So she called in another midwife and she had a go and she just could not get it. And they were rooting around for about 15 minutes. It was really painful. And she was like, oh, I think we might have to go to surgery. I was like, oh my God, please, someone get this thing out. So she had another go, and eventually she managed to get it. And she took it out. She said, "Oh, actually, you're 4 centimeters." I was like, "Oh, brilliant! Like, how did that happen?" Like, I really didn't walk anywhere or do anything, but it must have just worked. So they said, "Right, okay, you don't need any more pessary, so we just got to wait for some space and labour ward, and we'll break your waters and get the show on the road," kind of thing. I was like, "Okay, brilliant." So I waited for most of the next day. My mum was waiting there, and we were just on DAU, which is the day assessment unit, and there's all the other people up there as well. It's like a ward, you just have a curtain between you, and it's for people that come in and want to monitor baby, or come in like really early stages of labour, or to come in to be induced. So I'd already been there for the night, and I had a little section at the end, which was absolutely fine. You hear the odd kind of lady go, oh, into labour, but it's very early stages, and it's very quiet, and it's fine. So then what happened? I lose my train of thought all the time. Mummy has baby brain. So I was waiting, and there was still no change. There was no beds available. So I was just walking around. Luckily, I could walk by this point. It was like Steve took a video because he couldn't believe it. We had to send it to the friends and say, look, it's a miracle. She's up and walking around and jumping. And oh, I wasn't jumping. I was heavily pregnant. But, you know, I was walking around. I was doing the stairs and everything, and I was staying active. And I think we walked the hospital grounds 100 times waiting for a space. And it got to kind of early, like late afternoon, early evening, kind of around like 4:30, 5, and my bereavement midwife came up, and I'd really hoped that she'd be the one to deliver the baby, but it was getting on kind of thing, and you know her shift was going to be over, and also it was the Wave of Light ceremony, which is for all the lost babies. On the 15th, it's the end of Baby Loss Awareness Week, and it's where everybody lights a candle and things to remember their babies by. So there was a service going on downstairs that evening, which she obviously wanted to be there for. So she came in and she said, oh, there's still no space. She was like, but, you know, give me a couple of minutes and I'll come back. So she went off, and then a couple of minutes later she came back and she said, I'm just going to break your water. So I was like, oh, okay. I was like, right, okay. And I'd heard the lady opposite me have her water broken the night before, and it sounded horrific. She sounded like she was in quite a lot of pain, and it didn't sound very nice. So I was a bit like, oh, okay, well, obviously it's not like her experience. That's fine. But she did it, and to be honest, it was absolutely fine. It didn't hurt at all. It was just a bit uncomfortable. And turns out I had a lot of water, and it flooded her gloves, and it was all a bit of an ordeal. But once my waters were broken, they popped me on the monitor to monitor baby's heart rate, and everything was fine. And I thought, I surely can't be feeling a contraction already. But I was like, is it? And I was like, no, surely not. So I called the midwife in because I thought, if it's going to go as quick as it did last time, I want some pain relief now kind of thing, so it has a chance to kick in and work. And so the midwife came in, and she said, well, okay. She was like, what do you want? Do you want some paracetamol? I was like, no. I had that last time. I was like, and that's all I had last time. And turns out paracetamol is not really good pain relief when you're in labour. I was like, I think it's going to progress quite quickly, so can we go straight to the morphine injection? Because that's the one that I'd chosen. I can't do gas in there, it makes me really sick, and I knew I wasn't going to have time for an epidural. So just that was my choice. I talked about it for 9 months with my midwife and said, you know, this is the pain relief, and everything else I've gone through it all. It was on everything of my notes. I think my notes literally just said, go in, have a baby, but give me pain relief. So she said, okay, let me go and have a word with another midwife on the ward, and I'll come back. So I was like, okay, brilliant. So she went off, and while she was gone, I thought, I'm just going to jump in the bath quickly, because you know, I just thought it'd be nice to freshen up before we kind of get things going. So Steve and me went into the bathroom. I got in the bath, and I had a contraction. There was no doubt a contraction, and I said, oh my God, Steve, feel pressure. He was like, what? I was like, yeah, I can feel it. He was like, really? I was like, yeah. So I was breathing through it. I got out of the bath, and I'd only had about 3 or 4 contractions by this point, and they were quite mildish. You know, I could breathe and I was okay. But then this one in the bath came, and I was like, oh no, you know, things are really ramping up quite fast. So so I got out of the bath, and I went back to ice cream. I went back to the ward, somehow managed to get back there, and I called in the midwife, and I was like, look, I'm in labour, I really want that pain relief now. And she was like, okay, let me just examine you first. And she went, we've got to go. And I was like, go where? She was like, labour ward. She was like, you're 6 to 7 centimetres, but I can stretch you to 10. She said, baby's head's right there. And I was like, okay. I was like, but before we go, I would like some pain relief now, please. Really please, really. By this point I'm going in this poor ward, and all these people are sitting there, you know, it's dinner time by this point, and all these people are sitting there having their tea and with their little, you know, oh, was it a contraction, was it not, was it a little bit of period pain? There's me in full-blown labour, like, yeah, I made myself very known with my breathing. And as I was being wheeled through, everyone had their curtains open because they decided it would be social dinner time, and they'd be talking to each other. I had just literally thrown on my nightie with nothing underneath, and I started instinctively turning onto all fours. And yes, Mummy did. Mummy turned onto all fours in front of all these people, and I was being wheeled through on all fours with everything out, and so embarrassing. And I was just saying, please, 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 you know, drug me up before this kind of happened. And they wheeled me into the labour room. I don't even remember getting there, to be honest. And my bereavement midwife turned up, and I thought, oh, yes, thank God you're here. You will drug me. You know, we've been talking about this for 9 months. It was in the plan. You know it. You know what you're to do. She's a senior midwife as well. So I was like, you will drug me. You know, we've spoken so much, and it'll be wonderful. By this point, Steve started filming because I wanted it all on film because with Bo, it was all so quick. I don't really remember it, and it was all just a bit of a blur, just a painful blur, and I really wanted it to remember it this time. So he started the camera rolling, and you see Tabitha, who's the bereavement midwife, group up to my shoulder after having a quick look and say, Lauren, I'm really sorry. I'm not going to be able to give you any pain relief. And I was like, excuse me what now? I was like, you can't what? And she was like, it's too late. And I was like, no, there's time. I will not push. I will not let this baby come out. Please. And she said, no, I can't give you anything. No, she said, it'll make the baby sleepy. And I was like, oh my gosh, she was like, I can't risk it. Next thing you know, she retreats back down. I don't see her again. And I think I've got one of those faces where you can just read everything. And she stayed down there, and I was just begging for somebody to drug me up. But it turns out, when I watched the video, I'm not actually saying that much. I'm just pointing to my leg, which I'm saying like that the injection in here's good. Here is really good. Just put it in. Everything will be fine. Just put the injection in. Pain relief of choice. In it goes. No, by that point, I thought, oh my God, here it goes. And then I started pushing, and I've got it on the video, but I do one push and you start seeing her head, and there's a load of dark hair. I don't know where that went. It all just fell out. You haven't really got much now. And then the second push, her head comes out. I'm just screaming. Turns out I'm very, very vocal when I'm pushing. Not so much in the contractions. I can breathe quite heavily through them, but pushing, yeah, no, I'm loud. I used to judge so much when I watched One Born, thinking, God, it can't be that bad. It is. It's worse. I think everybody on the whole of labour ward heard me giving birth. I just screamed, absolutely screamed, and then her head's out, and all you see is this. It's very strange. Like her head is just literally hanging out for about a minute and a half. The pain kind of isn't so bad once the head's out, and you know everything calms down by that point. Oh, your sockie's falling off. Everything kind of calms down, and then another contraction comes, and I panic because I'm like, oh no, more going to come out. And then I do a push, and her whole body comes out, and it's amazing. And then she gets passed through to me. And the whole room is in tears. Everyone's crying. Everyone knew my. Excuse me, I'm talking about you. Should I take that sock off as well so you match? Just stand up for a minute. Oh, got your flamingos on. I'm gonna wave to Nelly on the screen. Oh, and everyone's in tears, and she was passed to me, and I get my first cuddle, and she lets out a cry, and then next thing you know, Steve's still filming, and for some reason I don't really know what I'm doing at all, and it gets a little bit confusing, but it's the most amazing video. And that's it, she's born, and I had exactly the same tear as I did with Bo, a 2nd degree tear, but I didn't have a graze. But the after bit for me is not too bad at all. I heal really quickly, and I was up and moving about and things, and it was all fine. But I wasn't too impressed. And then on the video, the other midwife says, who was in DAU, she comes up and she shows me the injection on this tray, and she went, look, we made it into the room this time. And I was like, yeah, not ready to laugh about it yet. I'm still quite pissed that I didn't get that injection. It really hurt again. I have no desire to do it again at all. I'd have 100 little babies because you're very cute, and I love having her. But labour and birth, whew, that is something else. But she's here and we're very, very grateful and we're loving every minute. And she's 7 months this week and she's sitting and she's rolling and she's talking and she's shouting and she's waving. She's just the sweetest little thing. She's quite serious. She does make you kind of work to make her laugh, but she loves Daddy. Daddy's her favourite person in the world. Such a daddy's girl, aren't you? And yeah, we're just literally enjoying every minute of her. I can't believe how quick it's going. But she's a little miracle. And yeah, we love you very, very, very much, don't we? Yeah, you're a very good girl. You've been very good by Mummy sitting doing all the talking. Yeah, are you going to say bye-bye to everybody? You're going to show everyone you're waving? Wave. Say bye-bye. You're going to wave. Bye-bye. Good girl. That's a little tiny wave. Oh, mwah. But thanks for watching, and that was the birth of Nelly Wren, who's now here and happy and healthy, and we couldn't be happier. Thanks for watching. Bye.